Hey there, CJ Math students. Welcome to Notes 8.3. Today we're moving on to the angles part of this unit. So first of all, an angle is created when you have two rays joined together at a vertex. So a ray is something like this, and a vertex is the point where two rays meet. So when I have two rays meeting together, this space inside is the angle, right? So these are rays, and this right here is called the vertex, right? The point where the rays meet. So we have four different types of angles: an acute angle, a right angle, obtuse, and straight. Basically, all you need to know is that an acute angle is any angle that is less than 90 degrees. The word less than, so you understand that. So everything from 0.1 degrees all the way up to 89.99 degrees is an acute angle. A right angle, you can always tell, will have a little box in the corner like that. That demonstrates it's a right angle, and it's exactly equal to 90 degrees. No less, no greater, right? An obtuse angle is an angle that's going to be greater than 90 degrees. So starting at 90.1 degrees all the way up to 179.99 degrees, so greater than 90 degrees. And a straight angle is just going to be a straight line, and a straight line is equal to 180 degrees. Now the reason why a straight line is equal to 180 degrees is because if you take a triangle, remember earlier we discussed how all the angles in a triangle add up to 180 degrees. Well, if you unfold each side of that triangle, you will get a straight line. And so if all the angles inside equal 180, when you unfold it, a straight angle should equal exactly 180 degrees. Okay. We also have some other vocab words to go over. An adjacent angle is two angles that have the same vertex, so the same kind of common point, and a ray or side in common, but with no common angles. All right, so they each have their own common angles. So I can draw you an example of this. So if, say, I had this angle, we'll call this angle ABC. Usually angles have 3 points. And say I had this angle. We'll call this angle CBD. Okay, so these two are adjacent angles because they have the vertex of B in common, and they also have the side BC in common, but they each have their own angle, right? ABC has this angle, and CBD has that angle, right? Good. Complementary angles are two angles that with measures that add up to 90 degrees. And you can kind of remember this in your head, because to compliment somebody or to give them praise is the right thing to do. And a right angle equals 90 degrees. So that should be like the little device that you remember in your head, that complementary angles add up to 90 degrees. Supplementary angles are two angles that with measures that add up to 180 degrees. Okay, so with complementary angles, you should always see a right angle, so something like this, with maybe like that. With supplementary angles, you should always see something like a straight line with a ray that divides them, so something like that. You should be able to form like a half moon with supplementary angles, whereas complementary angles, you should have a little box that says, okay, those are right angles. Okay? And lastly, we have vertical angles. Those are non-adjacent angles, so angles that are not right next to each other, formed when two lines intersect or cross. Intersect. And they are equal. All right, so some vertical angles are like this. If I have a line or a ray that goes like this, and if I have a line that goes like this, vertical angles would be like 1 and 2 would be vertical, and they'd be equal to each other, and then like 3 and 4 would be equal to each other. Okay. All right. Let's take a look at these diagrams and see if we can't help us. So angles blank and blank are adjacent angles. So we can do a couple things here. First, we can say angle ABC. So here's angle ABC. So angle ABC. Now we want something that's adjacent to it. So right next to it, sharing hopefully CB and the vertex B. So angle ABC, and how about angle CBD? So angle CBD. So yeah, see how they're sharing B? They're also sharing side CB. So CBD. Those are adjacent angles. Now there's probably a couple more pairs of adjacent angles, but I just want to point those out first. All right. All right. So angles blank and blank are complementary angles. So you see this right angle here. This angle itself cannot be complementary with anything else, A, B, C, because it's already exactly equal to 90 degrees. So maybe I take this box and I extend it over here, and now I see two other angles that add up to 90 degrees, and that would be angle CBD. So angle CBD, and then what other little chunk? Oh, that'd be angle DBE. Angle DBE. This does not mean less than, it just means angle, okay? Right? And lastly, angles blank and blank are supplementary angles. If we had a straight line, so something like this, right? Here's our straight line. We need two angles that will add up to 180 degrees. Now I could do this a couple different ways. I could say, okay, angle ABC, right? Well, that's 90 degrees, right? Angle ABC. So then I would need another 90 degree angle, so something like CBE, right? So this is 90, this is 90, 90 and 90 is 180, right? CBE. Now I could also do something else. Let's erase and do something different. I could also do, how about, again, here's our straight line right here. What about angle ABD? So this angle ABD. And what about the extra little chunk that's left over, DBE? And there we go, we have that straight line right there, angle DBE. So those are supplementary angles. Good. And lastly, the last vocab that we were worried about were vertical angles, right? So these are, remember vertical angles, they're going to be equal to each other. The key word about vertical angles is they're across from each other, right? So, and they can't be like right next to each other. So across from each other. 1 and 3 are vertical angles, right? And then also 2 and 4 are vertical angles, or 4 and 2, however you want to say it. Right, that's it for part 1.